How can you get help if you are a victim of human trafficking? That's one of many important questions answered in this interview. Welcome to the program, Deputy Chief Williams. Tell us a little about yourself, just like some background.
I worked for the Clearwater Police Department for 32 years. I started in 1977 as a patrol officer and worked my way up through the ranks, and I retired in September of 2009 as the Deputy Police Chief. In 2006, I was on a team of individuals locally that created the Clearwater Tampa Bay Area Task Force on Human Trafficking.
Does human trafficking really exist in Pinellas County?
Yes, it does. It exists in Pinellas County, Tampa Bay area, and throughout the state of Florida. In fact, Florida is one of the top 3 destination states for victims of human trafficking in the United States.
What types of trafficking exist here?
Trafficking is defined by the federal law in 2 ways. There's 2 types of trafficking. One is labor trafficking, in which individuals are forced to work and provide manual labor in a variety of jobs. It could be the service industries, it could be construction, it could be agriculture, and not get paid for it. So there's labor trafficking. There's also sex trafficking. Sex trafficking is where women and children are forced into prostitution for the profit of the trafficker. It's estimated that most trafficking in the United States is sex trafficking. Some people estimate that as high as 80%, but we have both types of trafficking in the Tampa Bay area and in Florida.
How and why do people become trafficking victims?
Most people become trafficking victims because they are promised a better life, a better income, and this is dangled in front of them to paint a picture that they can enjoy a piece of the American dream if they only go with the trafficker into this business relationship. Unfortunately, what happens when these people are tricked that way is that they don't find a dream at all. They find a nightmare because they are then enslaved and are controlled by the trafficker over long periods of time and forced to do things that they wouldn't ordinarily do and not get paid for it.
Why don't more victims try to escape from their traffickers?
The trafficker The trafficker controls that victim in a variety of ways, both physically and emotionally. The traffickers are very adept at conditioning that victim to be fearful of U.S. authorities, to be fearful of the police. The trafficker will withhold their identification documents or immigration documents if they have any, and through a variety of both physical and psychological means, that trafficker exerts a tremendous amount of control over that victim. And that victim becomes, not only do they become dependent upon the trafficker, they become fearful of what might happen to them if they were to leave the trafficker.
How can a person get help for a friend who is a trafficking victim?
Well, we're fortunate in the Tampa Bay area because there are a number of services here that are familiar with trafficking victims and familiar with the needs of trafficking victims and are available to provide these services. One is the Hispanic Outreach Center in Clearwater, which is an important partner in the Tampa Bay Area Task Force on Human Trafficking. We also have a hotline, a local hotline, that people can call either anonymously or otherwise and leave information that will be received by a human trafficking detective here in the Tampa Bay area.
So is there a phone number that they can call?
Yes, the local hotline, human trafficking hotline, is area code 727-562-4917. And the information that is left on that hotline goes directly to human trafficking investigators here in the Tampa Bay area.
And can you repeat the phone number?
727-562-4917.
And will the police arrest a person who calls for help?
No, no. As a matter of fact, under the federal law, victims of human trafficking have a number of legal rights and remedies that are available to them as victims. They are considered crime victims, not suspects. Most victims of human trafficking, most international victims, are indeed undocumented immigrants here in the United States. They are illegal immigrants. However, because of their status as a victim, they are treated as crime victims, not as crime suspects.
Are trafficking victims deported if they call for help?
No, no. As a matter of fact, if the victim cooperates with law enforcement and cooperates with the investigation, they're entitled to actually stay in the United States under what initially is called continued presence, and then ultimately could become a T visa, and they're actually allowed to remain in this country for up to 4 years. That's important for us as investigators because the victim's testimony and the victim's assistance is critical to the prosecution of the trafficker.